Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're looking into this absolutely wild do-it-yourself project by a creator named Idranio. And honestly, it's this incredible story of crazy engineering, total frustration, and, well, the insane lengths we're willing to go to for the people we care about. So here's the big question. How exactly do you see your girlfriend for free? It's a pretty relatable dilemma, right? Our creator wanted to visit his high school sweetheart, but she lives 15 kilometers away. He's got a motorcycle, sure, but as we all know, gas is just ridiculously expensive right now. So he needed a wallet-friendly solution, which sparked a, let's just say, rather unconventional idea. Section 1. The inspiration behind the build. Why solar? Okay, let's dive right into this. This is the very first phase of our maker's hero journey, the motivation. Out of literally all the ideas in the world, why on earth choose to build a solar-powered bike? Well, he was at a bit of a crossroads. On one hand, he could just take his standard gas motorcycle. It's noisy and, most importantly, it runs on really expensive fuel. But on the other hand, he could build a DIY solar bike running entirely on free energy from the sun. Sure, yeah, it requires a tremendous amount of manual effort to build it from scratch, but it's clearly the most economical and, frankly, the most romantic choice he could make.
Moving on to the required parts, the heart of shimming. Let's keep that quirky engineering energy going as we get into the more methodical part of this build. The creator actually affectionately named his old wobbly stock bike Shimming. So let's look at exactly how he planned to give Shimming a brand new sun-powered heart.
The core mechanics here are actually surprisingly simple. He only needed three main components to make the whole magic happen. First up, a 24-volt electric motor conversion kit. Second, the standard bike itself, good old shimming. And third, an 18-volt, 100-watt solar panel. The logic is super direct. The sun powers the panel powers the motor, and then the motor turns the wheels. It sounds incredibly easy on paper, right? Well, let's see what happens when reality hits. Which brings us to challenges and solutions, failures and triumphs. Because, as with any great hands-on project, the build phase was incredibly frustrating, but also, honestly, absolutely hilarious. Mismatched parts and wiring issues nearly derailed the entire thing before it even got off the ground.
This whole trial and error process gave us this incredible quote. He wired a 12-volt test battery to the motor, held his breath, and connected the wires. And guess what? The motor actually spun. The only problem? It spun backwards. He joked, "Sometimes I wonder if I have dyslexia. It ran, but in reverse." But hey, honestly, at that exact moment, just getting the motor to turn at all was a huge, huge victory. The mechanical hurdles were massive, though. Like, the kid's gear didn't even fit the bike's brakes. So he cleverly bolted on a universal 80cc motorized bike sprocket just to bridge the gap. And when the standard chain didn't fit that new sprocket, he just swapped the whole thing out for a heavy-duty BMX bike chain. Plus, he had to mount this massive, heavy solar panel safely above his head. His solution? He used lightweight metal furring for bracing and, staying totally true to the DIY spirit, secured the whole shebang with just dozens and dozens of zip ties. Next up, the first test. Is shimming ready? So the bike is physically put together. The zip ties are pulled tight. All those annoying mechanical issues are finally solved. But is shimming actually ready for the open road? Well, just as he finished, some totally unexpected obstacles popped up.
See, he decided to test a solar bike in the Philippines during June. If you don't know, that is the exact start of typhoon and rainy season. So day one, total washout. Day two was spent just anxiously waiting on the weather forecast and desperately trying to finish up the wiring. But finally, the suspense broke. On day three, the sun brilliantly appeared right through the clouds. Let's look at his final pre-flight checklist. Tires? Check. Motor? Check. Lights and camera? Check. But he suddenly realized a critical engineering flaw. A small battery buffer was absolutely mandatory. The solar panel by itself just couldn't provide enough starting torque to move the bike from a dead stop. So he had to add a small battery. But to keep the project's integrity intact, he made a strict rule for himself. That battery could never, ever be plugged into a wall outlet. It could only be charged by the sun while he was riding. The 15-kilometer journey, the power of the sun. The skies are totally clear, the battery buffer is primed and ready, and this long-awaited journey to finally go see his girlfriend begins. 15. That was the beautifully perfect math of this whole trip. The total distance to his girlfriend's house is exactly 15 kilometers, and the top speed he could safely achieve on Shimings, exactly 15 kilometers per hour. To put that into perspective, that means a perfectly paced, exactly 1 hour travel time, relying entirely on the sky right above him. As he hit the open road, he realized the solar panel was actually successfully passing energy to the battery while he drove. He felt this immense surge of power and pride and relief. It was captured perfectly in this quote: "I have the power of the sun, but sometimes I'm scared of my own genius." He even joked that he was worried he might get pulled over by the cops for not having permits for his custom solar vehicle. But soon enough, that humor gave way to just sheer awe. 4 billion, that is how many years our sun has been shining. For 4 billion years, this immense, limitless energy has been freely raining down on Earth. And yet, day to day, we so often take it entirely for granted, don't we? Which leads to lessons from the sun, more than just biking. As the ride continued, his whole mindset shifted. The journey became way less about the mechanical gears and wires and much more about the actual experience of the ride itself. When you're going up maximum of 15 kilometers per hour, it really forces a change in your perspective. Slowing down like that allows you to appreciate nature and silence. Escaping those busy, noisy, traffic-filled city streets, he found himself riding under this beautiful canopy of giant, quiet trees. There was a bit of irony here, of course, because the beautiful shade from those trees briefly stopped his solar panel from charging. But he didn't mind at all. The absolute peace of that slow ride was 100% worth the temporary drop in voltage. And this brings us to his ultimate realization out there on the road. The best things in life are free. When you manage to build something yourself with your own two hands, and you power it using the free, abundant energy of the universe, you experience this profound sense of freedom from material things. You realize you don't always need a massive budget or expensive fuel to create something truly incredible. Finally, the destination. He actually made it. He pulled right up to his girlfriend's house. By the time he arrived, the solar panel was knocked completely crooked by the wind. The battery indicator was desperately flashing on its very last bar. But he made it. He proved that those laughable, seemingly impossible ideas are absolutely worth pursuing, especially when love is your primary motivation. And his girlfriend, she was completely shocked he actually managed to drive it all the way there. Which leaves us with a final question for you. What are you willing to do for love, nature, and a little bit of free energy? Whether it's building a quirky solar bike from scratch or simply just stepping outside to appreciate the sunshine on your face, I really hope this explainer inspired you to harness your own creativity. Keep learning, keep building, and until next time, stay curious.